Hello everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well, and today I am doing an extra video because I just got notified by someone on Twitter that this story had broken just about 20 minutes ago from the time of me filming this. So I do want to make sure that I give a shout out to Lame Luca. Thank you again for tagging me in this story because Scarlett Johansson has apparently sued Disney over Black Widow getting a Disney Plus release. The star has alleged, according to the Wall Street Journal, that the release of this latest film in theaters and Disney Plus simultaneously is a breach of her contract. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this story, but if you do want to continue to support the channel before going further into the story, please make sure that you smash that like button, light up that fire button if you're watching on Odyssey. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel with the bell notification turned on. That way you know every time a new video or live stream goes live on the channel. All right, so there's a lot of layers going on here because you've got, obviously, multi-millionaire Scarlett Johansson suing a multi-billion-dollar corporation in Disney. And so in my eyes, there's really no good or bad side necessarily. It just seems like it's a bunch of rich people suing each other because they want more money. It is kind of how it comes across to me at the very least. Again, not really a huge fan of either in this case, but we'll go ahead and dive into this story. It says, Black Widow has a new enemy, the Walt Disney Corporation. Just when you thought that everything was fine with the box office numbers for Disney for Black Widow because they were claiming these out of nowhere numbers, which it's interesting to me because I would not be surprised if it's because of the fact they released a number attached to Black Widow on Disney Plus that the star was like, oh, wait a minute, you're saying that you made $60 to $100 million on this platform? Where's my cut of that? Usually when you have major Hollywood stars in these types of movies, they normally get a cut of box office receipts. And so the fact that they, I'm assuming, likely did not have her as a part of the Disney Plus getting any cheddar from that deal, oh boy. Things are getting spicy. As it says here, Scarlett Johansson, star of the latest movie, Marvel film Black Widow, filed a lawsuit on Thursday in Los Angeles Superior Court against Disney, alleging her contract was breached when the media giant released the film on Disney Plus, the streaming service, at the same time as its theatrical debut. Ms. Johansson said in the suit that her agreement with Disney's Marvel Entertainment guaranteed an exclusive theatrical release, and her salary was based in large part on the box office performance of the film. Quote, Disney intentionally induced Marvel's breach of the agreement without justification in order to prevent Ms. Johansson from realizing the full benefit of her bargain with Marvel, the suit said. Disney could not be reached immediately for comment. No surprise there. Why would they want to? The suit could be a bellwether for the entertainment industry. Major media companies are prioritizing their streaming services in pursuit of growth and are increasing putting their high-value content on those platforms. Those changes have significant financial implications for actors and producers who want to ensure that the growth in streaming does not come at their expense. It says here, quote, this will surely not be the last case where Hollywood talent stands up to Disney and makes it clear that whatever the company may pretend, it has a legal obligation to honor its contracts, said John Berlinski, an attorney at Kazowitz Benson Torres LLP, who represent Miss Johansson. Oh boy, so this is pretty huge here. It says, going on, Warner Media chose to renegotiate many of its talent contracts that, like Miss Johansson's deal with Marvel, were tied to box office performance. Warner Brothers said, paid more than $200 million to talent as part of amended agreements. So this is pretty huge stuff here. So basically, according to the lawsuit, Scarlett Johansson's contract had an exclusive theatrical release, and the reason why was because it was going to result in her getting more money. Basically, her salary, how much money she was going to get after the fact, was also contingent on how well the box office did. Meaning, if the box office does very well, she gets more money. And so she is now alleging that because of the Disney Plus release, and I'm going to be honest here, it's not because she didn't know that this was going to happen, because let's be honest here, they had announced that this movie was going to be released on Disney Plus for a while now. So this kind of seems like it would be coming out of nowhere. I would say one of two things has happened that probably led to this result. One, they had been planning on this lawsuit and were just building up their case and just taking their time to make sure that they were able to win this case, or at the very least be able to present a strong enough case where Disney might actually settle, which I would imagine is probably going to be the end result of this if I had to guess. Or rather, in addition to even, it was that Disney Plus was not expected to make a lot of money, and so Scarlett Johansson initially said, okay, whatever, it is what it is, but then as soon as Disney opened its big mouth about, hey, look how financially successful this movie has been, we made over $60+ million, and then she's looking at the box office like, wait a minute, this movie is essentially a flop. If you look at the movie and you base those receipts just on box office numbers, or at the very least one of the worst performing Marvel films, where could that $60 million to $100 million that they allege that they have made, could that have been made at the box office instead by people going to the theaters instead? And therefore, could that have been a larger amount of money for me? So in the end, this is going to end nothing but bad for Disney because, as I mentioned, their movie was already on financial straits because the box office, raw box office, not Disney Plus numbers, were already on very shaky grounds. This now guarantees that any extra money that they claim to have made from Disney Plus will probably just go poof in the air because it'll either be paid in settlement to Scarlett Johansson to put this away pretty quickly, or she's going to win the lawsuit and probably ask for a crap ton of money, which will probably be most, if not a lot, of the so-called profits they made from Disney Plus. So to me, this is just very well earned by Disney. Again, boasting about their numbers. Do not be surprised if you do not hear something similar with this weekend's Jungle Cruise coming out, because guess what? That film also was supposed to come out tonight or maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know how it works on Disney Plus Premiere, but that film is also set to release on Disney Plus Premiere for a premium price. Did the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson have a contract that exclusively said box office receipts? Did Emily Blunt have something in her contract about this? These are going to be cases that are going to be popping up all over the place. And if Scarlett Johansson either gets this case settled or wins the case, man, oh man, Disney could find itself in a lot of trouble because there are a ton of movies that have been released on Disney Plus this year, going back even to films like Cruella, where they haven't really said a whole lot about how much they made. Who knows? That could be something where you might have an Emma Stone say, hey, you know what? I had a similar agreement, and I know that they made some money on Disney Plus. Where's my cut? Oh man, when the rich go after the rich, it just is, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. But anyway, I wanted to cover this story because obviously this is very much related to, I try to stay away from breaking news stories for the most part because I try and not do like all the clickbaity type stuff. But this to me was very big and very relevant, especially to the box office report I did earlier today dealing with Disney's Jungle Cruise, but also to what I've been covering with Black Widow, because now any person that tries to spin Black Widow as being financially successful because of Disney Plus numbers, ooh, what do you got to say about maybe a lot of those dollars, or all of it, or even more, going away, poof, because of this lawsuit? It'll be interesting to see what the end result is. But what are your thoughts about this? Whose side are you on? I'm on neither, because in the case of Scarlett Johansson, she's just a rich woman asking for more money. And then in the case of Disney, they are a multi-billion-dollar corporation that owns way too much and probably should be broken up in some capacity, but also is an evil corporation for working with communists in China. But hey, everyone, I guess, eventually, everything comes around, right? They call sometimes it karma. I call it, if you do something bad, if you act in a bad way, eventually it's going to catch up with you, because eventually sin gets its due. Anyway, what are your thoughts about this? Let me know in the comments section below. I know it was kind of a weird ending, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, smash that like button, light up that fire button. It really does mean a lot over on Odyssey. You guys are great. Check out the top link if you want to find out ways to follow me on social media and also support the channel. It's the Willow link at the very top below the description. Thank you very much, everybody, for the time and also for your love and support. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless. And now for a huge shout out to all of my July Patreon and Subscribe Star members: Andrew Hoyle, Biffer de Hobbit, Brian P., Dion, Don Bruno de la Mancha, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Father Damian Cook, Garrett Searles, Harold Francis, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jacob Juice, Jeffrey Toone, Jonathan Carney, Laura, The Modern Major General's Story, Mike Jackson, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, On to June, Orange Hat Reviews, Out of Step with Reality, Priscilla Hall, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina B, and Tina Bojan. Thank you all very much for supporting me over on Patreon, and also to my Subscribe Star members, Fast Reaction, Nosferatu Gatsu, John B, Perpetual Punster, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., Dean Heiss / the new number 2, J. Ra, the Beer Guru, and ZK Man. And I also want to make sure to shout out my Locals members. I am now available over at locals.com, and I've got 2 monthly supporters over there. The first of my local supporters is Goblin Squatch. Shout out to you, good sir. And also, I now have a second supporter over on locals.com, and that is Robert Barnes. Shout out to both of you very much. Thank you very much for supporting me on that new platform at the Keeper of the Bifrost level. If you want to find out more information about that, go check out my Locals page. You can find the link in the description, and it tells you everything that you would get in that Keeper of the Bifrost level, which is right now the only level available on that platform. And I also want to make sure to shout out any new Patreon members, and for right now, I want to shout out Mondo Spieler, who is my newest member over on Patreon. And I also want to add my newest Locals members, Cats App and The Real It. Thank you very much for being new members and supporters over on Locals. Thank you all very much for being here today. And if you want to have your name shouted out at the end of every single live stream and video on the channel, please make sure to check out the links in the description of ways that you can support me over on Patreon and Subscribe Star as well. It gives you access to things like giveaways of Blu-rays, 4Ks, and digital codes. Also, access to a podcast that I do with John the Flick Pick Flickinger, where we have a lot of fun. We also answer Q&A questions as well. And also you might get access to the Chosen of Valhalla level, which gives you access to a once-a-month podcast exclusively where I bring on you to the main channel with everyone else who is at the level, and we all just talk about movies, pop culture, and tons of fun stuff like that. And also, of course, Tina, who is the Empress of the Universe, is going to give us tons of reviews of movies and also maybe a couple of awesome rants here and there as well. So if that sounds fun to you, make sure you go ahead and check out those links. Again, you're all amazing and beautiful people. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless.